उसको बुलाओ, दबाना पड़ेगा।
What दबाना पड़ेगा? It is divided as.
यहाँ कुर्सी की तो पहले पे नहीं था। अब यहाँ पर कुर्सी, एक लेसे बिठी रहने। और मोरू पड़ा।
Can we start?
Yes, ma'am, we are live now.
Yes.
So,
Sifia, you can start off.
Yes.
We'll be very quick with our comments. Yes, please. Take it.
Yes. Respected Mr. Manoj Pandey, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, the President of ICAI, Shri Devashish Mitra, the Vice President, Aniket Talati, Vice Chairperson, the Corporate Laws Committee, Preeti Savla, Mr. Sri Kumar, Joint Director, MCA, representatives from L&T, Mr. Rohit, and to every single person who's present at this webinar here today. I understand we have about 1,000 people who've already logged in for this webinar. Here's a very, very hearty good afternoon to all of you. And welcome to this webinar on the guidance series in respect of the MCA version 3 launch of the MCA-21 portal. May I now request, and this is essentially part of a guidance and a support initiative of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. We propose to do 3 Gs. One is we want to do guidance seminars under the directions of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. 2, we'd like to help in assisting you to, escalate your grievances. And 3 is actually all kinds of support that we can provide to go live. So it's basically guidance, grievance, and go live. So with this very, very short words of introduction, I'd like to request the President, CA Devashish Mitra, to speak a few words. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. The Chairperson, CL&CGC, Sri Kumar, very respected Manoj Pandey from Ministry of Corporate Affairs. He's the Joint Secretary. Mr. Sri Kumar from the MCA. To my left, the Vice President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Aniket Talati. To my right, the co-chairperson of the committee of CL&CGC, Preeti Savla. She's a council member from Mumbai. Sarika Singhal, and to everybody else who are listening to us. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of India takes great pride and pleasure in joining hands with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs in ensuring that this module, the L&P module, becomes a great success. The Institute has always been a partner in nation building. And let me tell you, we'll do everything possible to see that this module becomes a great success, because we believe in this module, because we believe that this module is going to really work for ease of doing business. Those of us who have been following us, you know that we have had the first edition of this program on the 2nd of March. We are having the second edition today. The 2nd of March, we had more than 3,000 chartered accountants who had joined us. And today also, we are expecting a huge number of chartered accountants to join us. Let me tell you, the Institute, those of us who might have some difficulties, we have created a Google form. We would want you to use the Google form, bring the difficulties to us so that, we can help in resolving the difficulties. Any kind of module in the initial stages does have some issues here and there. But we are extremely confident that this module that has been developed will serve the users to a great extent in the long run. And from the Institute side, I can only say that support this module. And from us, we will do everything possible. The CL&CGC is working very hard. The Vice President is working very hard to see that this module is a great success. Thank you very much, sir. And sir, thank you very much for having, to Mr. Manoj Pandey, sir, thank you very much for having faith in the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. And we shall try our best to live up to your expectations, sir. Thank you.
Sifia, you are not audible.
Sifia ji, mute.
Thank you very much.
Muted, yeah,
thanks very much. Got caught in a little traffic snarl, that's why. So could I please request, say, Aniket Talati ji to speak a few words, his perspectives, and then.
A very good afternoon, respected President of the Institute, Devashish Mitra ji, our government nominee and Joint Secretary at MCA, Shri Manoj Pandey ji, and the entire team at MCA, the very dynamic chairpersons, we've recently celebrated the International Women's Day, and I'm glad to see that in the CL&CGC also, we have the two women chartered accountants of our profession who are leading the way, Shripriya Kumarji from Chennai and Preeti Savlaji from Mumbai. And I'm sure that with the two of you and Sarika Singhji as the secretary, I think we have a great team working on corporate laws and corporate governance and also the CSR activities which are imbibed the company. Extremely confident that with this new team at the CL&CGC, not just the technical aspects of corporate law, but the practice of corporate law, which is now moved totally digital and in terms of using technology, has gone with this new module even easier and simpler for the users. I'm sure that it will not only serve the purpose of all the stakeholders, but also give some very valuable data input to the government, which will further help the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and the Government of India to make more decisions which are in line with the theme of ease of doing business, which the Honorable Prime Minister has set forth, which are more business friendly and which will ensure that the growth of this Indian economy further moves forward, because we have all noticed the growth of LLPs in our ecosystem. I think if you look at the past 10 years, in terms of how when the LLPs actually started growing, we've seen a tremendous growth in terms of the number of LLPs getting incorporated. And I think that bears testament in the fact that it's a wonderful form of mechanism, a corporate vehicle through which people are incorporating, through which people are practicing as well as doing business. And I think it is that ease that the LLP provides in terms of the legal structure and now in the practice of LLP, that is incorporation, the compliance forms with this new portal is going to further enhance the ease of doing business. I think the taxation structure, the corporate structure of LLP is very settled today. And with these new forms, like the Honorable President rightly mentioned, there will be teething issues. Any new technology will have that. But in the long run, will further enhance and promote the use of LLPs by business and industry at large, and also for professionals, make life of not just doing business, but life of practicing profession easier for all of us. With these words, I would request the entire membership, let's support this initiative. And I think wherever possible, please give your feedback to this Google form that CL&CGC is proposing. Only if we raise these issues can they be flagged and some solution and data fixes be initiated. With this, I welcome all of you once again, and thank you very much for joining.
So, thanks so much, Anikitji, and nice that both of you have actually joined today. So, could I please request Shri Manoj Pandey to present his perspectives, a few words.
Sir, you are on mute, sir.
Very good afternoon, President ICAI, Mr. Debashish Mitra, Vice President Aniket Talati, Madam Preeti Savla, Madam Shripriya Kumar, Sarika Singhal, and all my dear chartered accountant friends who are attending this webinar. We in the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and our service provider, Larsen & Toubro Infotech, would be hand-holding you in the entire process of this transition from V2 to V3. To give you a perspective, we started this transition way back in May 2021. So you would have seen there is a revamped website which came in place first, followed by an ebook, which is electronic book of all the acts, notifications, circulars, is easily searchable. Thereafter, e-consultation module was introduced. So the transition was gradual. LLP module being a smaller module, we have introduced first. It would be followed by a company module, which would be coming in next 2 or 3 months. What exactly we have done in LLP module, we have changed the PDF forms into web forms because it facilitates everybody. It's easy to use, you can save, and thereafter you can submit. While realizing that there could be some teething issues because it's a transformation from one system to another, and it's every 6 years the transformation or change takes place. So 2016, I think there was a change. Now when we are introducing version 3, there is another change of technological platform as well as some changes in the form layout. One important aspect which we have changed is how to register, how to associate your DSC. It's a login process which has been introduced. But the process is not very difficult. The process is very easy. Only thing, the old process has changed and new process has been introduced. To give you a statistics, the new users which have come to our portal and registered, that is the new users, would I think in one day we had around 3,500 users who have registered. They are new users. The old registers have all migrated from the V2 system to V3 system. There is no difficulty with them. But if you want to associate a new, update your DSC, you want to associate your DSC with a new user, you have to update your status. So if somebody is finding a difficulty, our help desk is available 24/7. So 24/7 round the clock, there is a facility which is available to handhold. The form filing has begun and the approval process has also begun as far as name reservation is concerned. In days to come, other approvals would also be in place. I'm very happy when Mr. Talati mentioned about the growth of LLPs and growth of companies. So MCA-21 is facilitating not only incorporations of LLP and regulatory filings, but also incorporation of companies and their regulatory filings. To give you a perspective, last year, we had record number of LLPs getting incorporated. That was 42,000, much more than the previous year and any of the previous years. This year we have already crossed that figure. So a higher base we have gone the highest base. It's more LLPs have been incorporated. That means the MCA-21 is helping the professional community. The ministry and the portal is here to help the business and is to help the professional community. In now, since for few days LLP module was closed, the number could have been around 46,000 by now, but we will achieve that figure. In company incorporation, again, last year we had achieved a figure of 1,55,000 companies, which was again a record incorporation which had taken place on the portal. This year we have already crossed that figure. Again, still we have 20 days to go. So that means professionals and the business have an immense faith on the portal. They are coming, they are incorporating the companies and LLPs. Since it's a change which is happening, there could be some teething issues. We are here to support. We are here to come on webinars to take everybody through whatever changes we have introduced. We expect all the professional community also to support us, to handhold us. We will handhold the professional community. Please support us. And I am very happy that ICAI, President ICAI, along with Vice President and Madam Shri Priya Kumar, they have taken wonderful initiative of this jointly acting on any grievance and taking it forward. Because after all this, whatever we are doing, it's to facilitate business and to facilitate professional community. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Manoj sir, and thanks for being here today. Sure, we'll all make it happen together. So just in terms of my own perspective on this, to all the people who are present in this webinar, and for you to actually take a message, I think anybody has two choices before them, to just continue with what you want to do or to improve. Today, a regulator like MCA has taken an effort to improve and enhance because we believe the country needs this. And more than anything else today, there's an ease of doing business, making things happen seamlessly. So is this easy? No, it's not easy. Because if I were to give you a very colloquial example, it's like enhancing a running engine and a running aircraft engine at that. It's not easy at all. And so this entire process of migration, transition, testing, etc., have to all happen very quickly, which is why we face the challenges that we're all, a couple of us are facing today. So my only request to everybody is to be a little more forbearing, because I think ultimately two things are important. One is the intent, and I think the intent behind this is very good. And the second thing is we've been very closely working with both MCA and the technical partner, which is L&T, and the kind of commitment we see is phenomenal in the way issues are, first of all, accepted and then dealt with. So before I actually launch onto this program, I thought should just make a request that all of us use the grievance Google link that's been sent, and we're planning to do daily calls where we will highlight the grievances. And I'm sure it's everybody's initiative to correct everything and go home. So it's bound to happen very fast. So thank you very much to one and all in this webinar here. And now I'd like to hand over the proceedings to Rohit of L&T to take on the session on two very specific topics are going to be handled today, which is the access itself, the user login, and to how to attach your DSC to this entire system. So it's over to Rohit.
Sripriya, before you hand over to Rohit, may I request Preeti to speak a few words? Preeti, please.
Sure.
Thank you, President sir. A lot of things are actually happening. We are regularly connecting in touch with MCA and ICAI in joint initiative to sort out the issues which are there for all the members or the stakeholders who are actually using this LLP formation or compliances, and this 20 forms which are coming up with on web-based forms. So we are making lot of exercises to make and ensure that there should not be any bug, and it should be bug free, and all the stakeholders and the users are able to use this in a very prompt way. So whatever support required from our side, from ICAI side, President sir is there, Vice President sir is also here, and Sripriya madam, along with with the initiative of MCA, we are there. And please use Google form for any of your grievance or any issue, and we will make it sure that all these things are sorted out. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and over to you, Sripriya.
Thanks, Preeti. And Preeti would also be, if she's available, summing up the proceedings for the day. So, and I would be there too. So now it's over to Rohit, please. Mr. Rohit Bhatt of L&T, who's been very supportive, and he's been our go-to person for all our issues on this LLP funds.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everybody. And thank you for the kind words, Sripriya. Today's session that I think we already debated about, that we have to go through first the login and DSC association, are the two things that we will be focusing on today. I just have one slide that what has happened after go live till date, just to keep you all posted that how the numbers look like after our go live was done. So can you share the screen? Yeah. Are you able to see the screen, Sarika ji?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rohit.
Okay, so what has happened till date is after go live, if you see 14,485 users have logged into our system, which is the only LLP module I'm talking about, because for companies still the login is separate, and for LLP the login is separate. So there are 14,485 users who have logged into the system. So V2 users, which we are saying that migrated users from V2 to V3, these are 11,011 are the users who had logged successfully from V2 to V3. That means their existing login IDs were used to get into the LLP module. So there are number of new users because these users have registered afresh with us. So there are 3,474 users who have afresh registered. So the bifurcation of 3,474 is below. There are new registered user registrations are 2,811. Business users are 663. Within that business user registration, there are professional users and there are some directors, managers, authorized registration. So these are different kind of roles within that user registration module where they are selecting while registering themselves. So these are excellent figures where we look at the system from where we have started and where we are now. So if you look at the overall numbers, this gives us a lot of confidence that this particular module is being used successfully and people are able to log in from the new registration perspective as well as from the existing V2 migration perspective. Those are successfully being done. So I will just quickly move to now to my colleague whose name is Girdhar and Sakshi, who will just run us through with the complete demo. We'll start with the quick walkthrough of the presentation, and then we'll show a live demo as well. So as of now, what we are trying to do here as well is, as discussed, we will use this presentation as a training kit or a reference material later as well. We can send this to this group, or also we will upload this on the website as well to make sure people are able to log in into the system and they don't face any challenge, and there's instructions there to make sure that they have enough training material to be referred for. So I'll just quickly first go to Sakshi. She will give a quick demo, then we'll go through the registration, and then we'll finish it off. Sakshi, you're there?
Yes, Rohit, I'm here. So I'll just share my screen. Just let me know if it is visible.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, great. So this is the Associate DSC service. I'll just let you know that this is what I have logged in from my user ID. I've created one professional user ID, random professional user ID for myself. And once I go to MCA services, I'll be able to access all the forms from here. And for the ease of users, we have put the icon of new here. So these both are the new services which are available in V3, that is LLP module right now. If you go to FO LLP services, you'll be able to see Associate DSC service here. Once you click here, the screen will get...
Sakshi, could you just go a bit slow if you don't mind?
Sure. So once you go to FO LLP services, you need to click on Associate DSC for DSC association of any user. Now, since I have logged in, this is my login ID, I've logged in from my login ID, I will be able to associate my DSC here. I will also explain what will happen if you want to register somebody else's DSC. For example, designated partners DSC or directors DSC. I'll go to that process as well. So here, once you click on Associate DSC, you'll receive this particular screen.
So the change that is coming in from V2 to V3 is, from V2, there was no login required for users to associate the DSC. In V3, everybody has to first log in into the system, and then only they will be able to associate the DSC. This is the new mandate we have got while developing the system. If Shri Kumar sir, you can just give a quick reference on this, will be helpful, just to make sure that everybody is aware about this new change we are bringing from V2 and why we are doing this, sir.
Yeah, Rohitji, this is the new mandate on the part of MCA. Presently, there are two kinds of login facilities are available. That is, one as a registered user and other one as a business user. So for uploading any form like REN or Philip, a user can upload through the credentials as registered user itself. Suppose other than this REN and Philip form, other forms you have to log in as a business user only. So presently, professional can do role check on behalf of any director or designated partners also in their own login ID. But this functionality will not be available going forward. So even for doing any role check for any director or designated partner, all should have their individual login ID. So this login ID can be done through their email ID itself. So this is the new requirement that we have changed, Rohitji. Please go ahead.
Sir, thank you. Sakshi, go ahead, please.
So for the user's ease, we have added these three notes here. So to download and install latest DSC WebSocket installer, the user can click here. User needs to have EM Bridge to associate the DSC or to use the DSC services. So mine is already here. This is from eMudra. And if you are a new user, since you are associating your DSC for the first time, you'll have to change the PIN also. So this is also a mandate. So if you want to associate your DSC for the first time, or you'll have to change the PIN of the DSC. If we click on Associate DSC, we'll get this pop-up where we'll find the token information, the certificate details. In certificate details, we'll get the name of the person whose DSC is available on the system. So this is my token, which I've already inserted in the system. Once I select my token, I'll be able to see my name here. I'll put the password and I click on register. So the system will see if the user's DSC is already registered or not, or this is the first time that the user is registering his or her own DSC. So since I've already registered on the day of go live itself, I had registered my DSC here. So if the DSC is already registered, we'll get this pop-up if we want to update our DSC or not. So if you click on yes, your DSC will get registered. If you click on no, you'll be back on the same window itself. So since I registered my DSC on the first day itself, so that is the reason we got this pop-up. And this we used to get in V2 also. So now, for example, if a user wants to register the DSCs for a professional or for designated partner or directors, for all of them, separate IDs will be, user registration will be required. So if a director is to register his DSC, will have to have a separate user registration for that director or designated partner.
So for users reference, what we have done also is we have created a presentation along with screenshots. So Girdhar, can you just go back to your presentation? Just go to the DSC. Just go to the DSC. Yeah. So just run through one by one. So what we have done is we have created in an environment, we created the screenshots. So first step is to go to the login page. Can you go to the next? You will go to the MCA services after login. You will associate DSC. Next, this page will come as Sakshi was showing. And then next, this pop-up will come. And then go next. You have to fill this information along with password. Go next. So this is the message that you will get since Sakshi was already a registered user. She has already associated DSC. As a first user, this message you will get. Go to next. Yeah, so you already registered your DSC. If you are already registered, so this message will come. Go next. That's it. So what we have done, sir, with this functionality, what we have showcased that the association of DSC functionality in V3, we have showcased you both in the live system as well as in the presentation. is something that we showcase you end to end on this. So what we'll do also is we'll share it across through Shri Priya or this presentation for all the users to make them aware how the association of DSC will happen in the V3 systems.
Yeah, Rohitji, I also request Sakshi to explain why there is separate login for LLP filing and separate login for company filing as well in our system.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. So since we have now, just one second, let me also see if I can share my screen from here. So since we have released LLP module, and for all the LLPs, the filings will be done through V3 module only. That is the new module. So a separate filing procedure is there, and all the forms are web-based forms. So for them, for all the users to file those forms, we will require user registrations, because registered user will only be able to access, as Sri Kumar sir already mentioned, the registered users will only be able to access run and fill form. Rest all forms we will be accessible to professional users or business users. So for that, they need to create their user registration first here. And association of DSC is mandatory for signing any of the web forms, because then only the system will be able to cross check the details that have been put through this association in them. Now if any DSC which is to be registered in V2 for now, that is for company filing, if any user wants to associate his DSC for the first time, since that process is already stopped in the earlier module, so for that also user will have to create a new registered ID and then apply for the DSC association. We have received multiple queries on this, how this DSC association will be done, if separate registrations are required, and on during the time of filing also, do we need to log in through different account and then only DSC will be acceptable or not. So I would like to answer these queries one by one. So first of all, if any DSC is to be associated from one user ID, only one DSC can be associated. If user registration is required to be done for separate people, yes, for the directors, designated partners, professionals, the other officials in the company, they can register as business user and they can access multiple forms. And if they associate their DSCs on the system, they can also sign the forms as well. If the DSC association is not done, DSC verification will fail. If you are I'm sorry, if you're registered user, in that case you can access run form and you can access Philip form. Third question, do we need to have login done if we want to sign any form? No, we need to just have that DSC associated on the MCA system. If a professional is filing a form and the directors or the designated partners, if they are available and they can use the same system and they can sign the forms from their system only, they need not log into their system and then sign any form. So that DSC can be signed from the same system and from the same login ID as well. Multiple signs can be used. However, association will require separate login IDs.
Sakshi, if it's okay with you, could you just repeat this as a user? Can you say, okay, I'm wearing hat A. This is what I will do.
Sure. I'll give one example.
Yeah, give an example
of
hat A, hat B, hat C.
I'll give one example. So for example, if I am a professional, practicing professional, I have 3 LLPs for which I file forms. I have 3 clients. So now one of the clients is already there with me, and there are 2 designated partners in that LLP. LLP 1, which I'll say. LLP 1 has 3 designated partners in it. Now, if any one designated partner is wants to get his DSC associated on MCA portal to sign any LLP form, for example, he wants to file LLP form 8, and any designated partner 1 and designated partner 2, they are going to sign on that particular form. So first, what I will do, I will create my user registration. user ID. I will associate my DSC so that I can, as a practicing professional, sign their forms also. And then those two designated partner who are going to sign the LLP form 8, I will create their user IDs as well, separate user ID for designated partner 1 and another user ID for designated partner 2. I will associate their DSCs through their respective user registered IDs. And then I'll go back to my login page. I'll fill the form for that LLP. And if they are available with me and they are okay to sign the form through my system itself, they can do that as well. I can share the PDF with them also. I have multiple options. I can share the PDF with them. They can sign through their systems and they can send back that PDF to me. I can upload from my system. If they are available with me right now, they can also use my system. They can also sign the PDF through my system also. So they need not log into their user ID again to use that DSC. Since the DSC details are already now available with MCA, that DSC verification will be done. And then I can file the form being a professional. I'll put my DSC, I'll affix my DSC also on the form and I'll upload the form. So I hope this makes the process a bit clear.
Yeah, Sri Priyaji, and one of the upgradation what we have done is whenever any director or designated partner, after doing role check, that is associating his digital signature certificate, whenever he fills any form where he is a director or a designated partner, once if he fill his Philip number, LLP number or SIN number, all the information will get pre-filled automatically. It is pre-populated. That is one of the added functionality we have done on this. Sakshi,
so yes, so to add to what sir said, for professionals we are giving the option of searching the SIN or searching the name of all the LLPs and companies. Since professionals are allowed to file n number of forms through their user ID, they get an option to search the name. They'll put any 3-4 alphabets and they'll get all the related names through those alphabets, and so their manual effort of putting the SIN or complete name will get reduced. Secondly, for designated partners and directors, we give the option of drop down. So wherever those designated partners or directors are associated with whichever company or LLP they are associated, that will come in the drop down. So as soon as the user selects any of those LLPs, all the details from the master data of that LLP will get pre-filled in the respective fields of the form. So again, the manual effort of putting the name or the SIN number and then clicking on pre-fill, that is again reduced here.
Okay, so
any questions, Sri Priya ma'am?
Any questions on this?
No, I think I'm clear, unless Sarika has received some questions on the chat, which we don't have access to, and she'll come back to us. But
they may continue, ma'am. We have received certain questions. I'll put in the chat.
Okay. Yeah. So with this, the DSC association, the process, I hope this is clear. And we will put this presentation on our portal as well to make sure that we have enough end-to-end process being, although there are already a training material available. So, but still we have, we'll make this presentation also to be there to make sure that it is enough training material is available there. So, Girdhar, can you just quickly go to the now login and registration, please?
Although I have put in some questions in the chat.
Yeah, I could call out the questions.
Okay, I think I could see that. I could see them.
Sure. So you could do it yourself.
I could see that.
Suppose a company is having 3 directors, and I want to register DSC of all the directors. Can I register all the DSCs from the single user ID login?
I guess I've already mentioned that for different, only from one user ID, only one DSC can be registered. If you want to register multiple DSCs, you'll have to create multiple user IDs.
So, ma'am, I think we discussed and we probably put this question, and this is one of the reason this functionality has come up, because we want against one login ID, only one DSC should be registered, and this is the only reason this was.
Move for any other further more slides or any further discussion?
Sir, we have login registration as well, sir. I just want to finish that off, or do you want to take few questions on this? There are questions on the chat.
I would suggest that you continue because you may end up reiterating certain points again when you're talking about the DSC.
Okay.
So we'll take the questions in one shot, and even on the DSC part, request users to just wait until this presentation is over before you put in your questions.
Okay, so Girdhar, can you just go to the user registration then? Yeah, can you go to the next slide? So now the next step or the next topic that we want to pick it up today was the login and registration. So as I mentioned earlier as well, Girdhar, can you just go to the live site as well, or maybe, yeah. Yeah. So if you see, well, on the right hand side top, there's a sign and sign up. What will happen is there are, when you press on this, Girdhar, if you just click on this. Yeah. So what will happen here is, Girdhar, just come down. Yeah. So there are two logins here. One is company filing and services, and there are LLP services. For login for LLP services is something that we have made live now, which is the LLP services we are talking about, and those are the forms which has gone live. But if still you want to, for the company form filing you want to do, you just need to log in on the company filing below. If you give the click on the company filing first. So this will take you to the earlier page of V2. So this version is still not migrated, or we are not, as JS said, mentioned that company will come after 2 to 3 months from now. So this is still here only. So you have to go to the earlier page. You will use the same login credentials, and you will just log in, and then you can start your work, or form filing can be done from here. However, if you wanted to log in into the new system, which is the LLP for login. So there's a question as well, my existing login ID will work or not? Yes, sir, your existing login ID will work here for the first time, and it will take you to the profile page of your user. Or it will take you to profile page only if your addresses or some of the information was missing in the earlier registration process, then only it will take you there. If it is not taking you there, that means you have already, your details, whatever were required, have been already met in V2. There is nothing that you have to update in your profile. You can go ahead and do your login registration. So that is the change that will come up. This is also an opportunity for the users or registered users to go to the upgrade themselves to the business user. So you can simply go to your profile page, upgrade yourself as a business user, and then it is done. So that is how it is. So Girdhar, if you can just click on the login page. Yeah. Okay, so let's finish the presentation first then. Go back your presentation, quickly finish this up. Okay, so go to sign and sign up, go to next. If you want to register yourself, you can just register yourself. There are steps. as a registered users and business users. As I was mentioning earlier, there are so you can log in yourself, you can register yourself, and then you can also as a business user, there's a drop down as well. So Girdhar, can you just 1 second try it? Just give us a second. Yeah. Okay, so go ahead. Girdhar, you can show it. That's all. Okay. You can share the screen. Sorry, so this is the login page. Sorry, there was some issue here to clear the cache. So I would request users that please keep on clearing your cache for the first time. That's a request, and that is because you are using this system for the first time. Please make sure you are clearing your cache. And this is the after login page. After login page, you will
Rohit, if
see
you
this.
don't mind, can you just tell our users how to clear the cache as well?
Okay. So you can go to browser.
Even if you verbally, verbally also is okay. Yeah, go to browser.
Go to browser, there are settings there. You can just search your cache. And then just clear all the cache, by the way, browser history. So if you want to clear all, just tick mark all three of this, and then clear the data. So that's all. So this is done. So go back. Yeah. So this is the login page. Go to the my app. Can you go to quickly to my services? My services. Just open one form there. Okay. So can you just go to the presentation then? Okay, so go to the next page. So this is go to the next page, login, come down, this is done. Can you come down? This is okay. So while you register yourself, you just need to put your first name, last name, middle name, date of birth, gender, profession, and then industry of operations. You just click next and go to next slide. You just need to select the other professional membership. For the personal details, you will put all this information here. Go to next.
And Rohit, we also want to tell them to always use the calendar and not do a data entry of DDMMYY.
Yes. So that is important to use that calendar rather than DDMMYY, because it will always give you an error, because these forms are web forms. So which has an impact, because it has a validation checks are there, which will not help you or register yourself unless you put in the right format the data it is asking for. Go to next. So then these are the login details. You will put your password, update details. There's a hint question as well if you forgot password. So if you forgot password as well later, so it will be very difficult. Sometimes this question is very important from security checks. We have put it here. Make sure the SMS alert is always yes, because that's where your SMS will keep on coming and OTPs will coming. So if you put no here, there will be a possibility that you don't want any SMS alert facility on your phone. So you have to, it is very important that your SMS alerts should be enabled as yes here. Go next, Girdhar. Done, and then you will just create an account. You will receive an OTP. So this is where there's a difference. In the earlier, there was no OTP facility. Now there's a OTP that needs a validation to be done. Once this is done, go to next. Then you will receive this error. So your registration is done. So this is for new users for the registration. However, for the existing users, you don't need to go. You need not to go for a registration You just need to update your profile page and done. So that is the difference that we had in the earlier system and the new system. And this is the new process that for the registrations that you need to follow. So with this, I think I am done, ma'am. Is there any other questions? Do you want to pick up the questions, or do you want to have any other? Sorry. So there's also an email you will receive later on, wherein you to be, it will just give you a notification that username has been created. So that is done from my side. We are ready to pick up the questions, ma'am.
Sarika, could you post the questions? And Rohitji, my only request is please read the question and then answer it.
Yeah.
Because the question is not visible to the other participants. Yeah, you can take on whichever questions you feel you've not answered in the webinar. So.
Yeah, I will go one by one. Suppose a company is having 3 directors, and if I want to register DSC for all the directors, shall I register all the DSCs of single user? I think this is answered. For a single user, there will be only one DSC to be registered. And that is the decision being taken, and that's how the system has been built. So that is being answered earlier as well.
So if a company has 3 directors, 3 user IDs will be created for each director, and then from each user ID, that respective DSC will be associated.
The next question is, dear sir, are we supposed to have 2 login IDs and password, one for LLP work and one for company work? The answer is no. There is no need to have 2 separate login IDs. We had made sure that the passwords and the login IDs are getting sync in both. So you don't need to have 2 different IDs while logging in. You just need, in the new system, it will always ask you to update your profile, and that is done. Existing user has to re-register. System is not accepting mobile number and email ID. What is suggested browser to use? Chrome, Firefox, Edge, any temporary file cookie setting to be done, any updation of software such as so there is no requirement of any of the software's perspective here other than the DSC association where you need mSigner. Otherwise, there is no need of any of the softwares. And from the browser perspective, except Internet Explorer, it will work on Internet Explorer Edge, not the Internet Explorer earlier, because Microsoft itself has taken off the support for that. So that is not the used these days. So that is the only browser which is not supportive. And this has been also put on our FAQs. What all browsers or technical FAQs are there on the website? You can always go there and refer yourself there. For the existing user, there is no need to re-register yourself, as I mentioned. And if you, as I said earlier, if your mobile and email ID was not there in the system earlier, in the V2 system, it will take you to the profile page to make it sure that you are entering those details. And then is it advisable to file old pending LLP forms before 31st of March or wait till April 2022 in view of reduced additional fees? Kindly share the compounding and adjudication process under the old and new LLP Act. Which one is beneficial? I think Shri Kumar sir, you can answer this.
Or better still, if you think that this is a webinar essentially for technical questions on the portal. But Sarika, you may just note down which member and we can respond, correspond.
Sure, ma'am.
Rohitji, can you please come again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just repeat this question, Shri Kumar sir. Is it advisable to file old pending LLP forms before 31st of March or wait till April 2022 in view of reduced additional fee? Kindly compare the compounding and adjudication process under the old and new LLP Act. Which one is beneficial?
As Madam Shri Priya Kumara just said, we are guiding here on technical issues. So separately, we can. Or,
we can answer that.
The concerned professional can reach out to ICAI or to us separately, but this is basically to guide on DSC and user login. So domain-related questions or other questions, I think we can take later on separately.
Can we?
It's not part of this webinar as such. So kindly, I'll request professors to avoid asking questions on such issues. Yeah. Thank you.
Can we incorporate LLP through old system as well till the time system is stabilized? The answer is no, because that has been deactivated and you have to use the new system for filing the LLP forms. Today, we were unable to register an LLP account. Mobile and email ID is disabled to enter the data. Ma'am, can we have this user, if we can just reach out to him? Sarika ma'am, the feedback which we have got today, we are unable to register. Can we have this user? I'll just reach out to them.
Sure. We'll ask the user to put it on chat, but incrementally, the person can also be advised to update the grievance form. So
yes.
Sarika, if you can also put it on the chat, which can be viewed by the others, the access code for the Google link form.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Yeah. Thanks,
yeah. So I think that process also has to be speak out. There's a Google form also being rolled out from your team. So please make sure you're putting feedback there. We are also taking it. That's one. Second is we also have a call center where you can call, and people are really active there. We are also making sure we are calling few users as well to make sure that your grievances are getting addressed much faster than what is expected, much faster than what it is. So just to make sure that we don't have any such issues open, and the filings can be done by the respective user. What is the implication if the proposed designated partner apply deep in through Philip form? What is their user role they have to select to register their DSC for incorporation of LLP? Sakshi, can you just?
So if they want to apply the DSC of designated partner, they need to go to the user ID creation page, select business user and select director or designated partner as the user role. And then their respective details they need to put, wherein director identification number will be required, PAN will be required, and some other details will also be required.
Thank you, Sakshi. Sir, we are unable to register on a new portal. Many drop-downs are not working. Again, we'll take you, sir or ma'am, one-to-one. We'll just call you once we'll get the details of the feedback on this. We'll make sure that we are reaching out to you to make sure that you are able to register. However, the numbers I show you when I start the slide, we have already crossed the numbers of more than 3,000, 3,500 new. So as of now, if there are grievances, please raise your voices through these channels to make sure we reach out to you. Do we need to register a user for company and LLP separately? No, sir. I think I answered this. There is no need. Both the user which you are currently using will be used. How to change from registered user to business user? Sir, in the profile page, which is there, I think I showed you, you just need to go there and then edit that form. You can, because in the existing, it will show you registered user. And then on the right-hand side, there's an option drop down there. You just need to select which user you want to upgrade yourself. You can just select from the drop down the business user, and this is done, and save it. You will be upgraded. Simple. So it's a two-step process that you can do. If one is director as well as professional, there will be two separate DSCs and login IDs.
No, there will be only single login ID for that user. We have given an option for add or change role in the same user registration. They can update their profile from there. They can add role or change role as well from their respective user IDs.
So there is also two things that I want to focus. There is also the contact numbers of the call center being mentioned on the website. You can just go there and see the number over there. It is clearly being mentioned there. You can go there. They are working in shifts. They are working in late evenings as well. So if somebody wants to do it in the evening as well, please do call. We had made sure that process is also enabled. So we have shifts being placed. You can call us anytime. We'll make sure that your grievances are being addressed. There is also what we are doing is we are also updating the same presentation or a manual on the website portal as well to make sure that you are able to get enough instructions on the portal itself. So that's all, Shri Priya. We have the questions as well. I have gone through all the questions.
So thank you very much, Rohitji. And if I were to summarize, there are just two key takeaways. One, I think we should be a little patient and this will get better. And it appears that there is a fair amount of success and transactions are going through. The second thing is, if you have any issue, kindly update the Google form link that's been provided to you. And if there is any user who after this webinar feels you haven't understood, I mean, just found one lonely chat that said, can you describe business user, registered user, etc. I think this starts at a certain basic level of, having used the MCA portal before, because I think that's where 99% of our participants are. However, if there are specific people, then we can, kind of take you offline. You could again add your name in the Google link and just say, I need a thorough briefing. That ICAI will be very happy to help. So that's about it. So unless there's someone else wanting to say something, I think we could conclude this webinar, and we'll be running the next one on Run LLP. So, look forward to meeting you all in the future as well, but do stay connected on the Google link. And here's a very hearty thanks to Mr. Rohit for this presentation, to Sakshi Sharma, also to Mr. Manoj Pandey for having been there throughout the webinar, Mr. Sri Kumar, and others on this presentation, and my team from ICAI, especially Sarika Singhal, who's been doing some phenomenal work. Thank you very much.
You just missed Girdhar from my team as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Giridhar. So Giridhar so much around all the time. We think he's part of our team. So
yeah,
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ma'am.
And we've had about 1,500 people attending this, and I'm sure, we'd have all picked up something valuable.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We also thank you, ICAI entire team and Shri Priya ma'am, for this wonderful initiative by gathering the feedbacks through this Google link form. That will be very helpful for us to then and there fix those issues. Thanks once again, all office bearers and ICAI. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks. Thank you very much.